I've noticed we as humans, and I've done it too, we struggle. I wasn't itchy until I started this video. We all struggle with the ability to forgive. Now, it's always nice to say, right? I forgive you. But what does that actually mean? Now, in my own personal point of view, and I got some other things to back this up. Forgiveness is literally detachment. That is the simplest way I can explain it. It is you detaching from how you feel about a situation or how someone has treated you. You know, I'm going to start off with, what does the dictionary say forgiveness is? It says, forgiveness is a conscious decision to release feelings of resentment, anger, and thoughts of vengeance towards someone who has wronged you. It is a voluntary transformation of your own feelings, not an act of condoning or excusing the offender's actions. Meaning, forgiving someone is not saying, hey, it's okay, you're all right. It is us saying, you know, you really fucked me there, but I'm just gonna let it go. I'll remember what you did. We're not gonna be best of friends, but I still wish you well. And I really hope that you figure it out. Confirmation. It is not us saying that everything's fine, everything's great. It's, you know, not only are we pointing out where someone has gone wrong, we ourselves are not going to be like that person and hold on to hate and resentment. And we literally detach from how we ourselves feel about that situation. You know? And the easiest way for us to come to that point, because we as outsiders looking in see excuses. But that person in their own mind, is giving reasons. And a lot of times that reason is just jealousy. But what creates jealousy? A jealous person is only jealous because they themselves want to be perceived how someone else is being perceived. Whether that person be doing something that jealous person knows that they just can't do, which I mean, it's not that you can't do it. To say that you can't do it, that's your first mistake. You haven't even tried. Have you even tried? And then you actually got to be committed to it. Commitment. I mean, they're already committed to being jealous and to being wrong. So why can't they be committed the other way? Yeah, I mean, we all know what the Bible says about forgiveness. But there was one that I wanted to... I mean, everybody knows Matthew 18:21-22, right? Where Peter's asking Jesus, How many times of sin must I forgive? And Jesus blatantly pretty much says all of them. They will continue. And that's not your concern. And the more you show somebody that something doesn't affect you, I mean, it really does hold true. In order to get rid of a bully, you have to ignore them. They are literally bullying you for a reaction. And if you're not giving them that reaction, what fun is it? If you're not seeing that it clearly affects you, what fun is it? Because most bullies, it's not even them. It's their friends they're trying to impress. It's their friends they're trying to get laugh in order for them to be perceived a certain way. I mean, it is all over the Bible about how to forgive. They may not go into exact details of how to forgive. Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses. Now, what does that mean? Simply put, for you to hate somebody is making you no better than them. Because their jealousy, it turns into hatred. They're jealous of you because you are perceived in a way that they want to be perceived, and therefore they hate you because you are perceived that way. Instead of thinking to themselves, I can do that too. They want to get rid of that person that is being perceived that way, so that they themselves are not perceived in the actual way that they should be perceived. So, and I mean, if you're going to hang on to a situation and keep replaying it, then you are literally causing yourself stress. Because you keep replaying the situation and, I can't believe that happened. To let go of that situation and the feelings that you have towards that situation. That's really what forgiveness is not letting go of the situation itself, letting go of the feelings towards that situation. And I know it's easier said than done, of course. We are humans. We feel. But we have so much more to feel. And if you can understand, humans are not perfect. Humans do feel. All humans feel, and they have their own feelings and their own wants and their own perceptions. You really got to understand not so much where somebody is coming from, but why they did what they did. And if you can understand why they did what they did, just like, jealous people, if you can understand why they're jealous, it is a lot easier to let go of those feelings because you can actually understand. You're like, well, I mean, sure. And then you kind of got to make a choice. Are you going to just walk away from that person entirely, which is not the wrong decision, or are you going to, try and help that person to see where they are going wrong, which isn't the wrong answer either. There is no wrong answer. However, I have figured out it doesn't matter how you cut somebody off. If they want to get to you, they will find a way to get to you. I mean, we have social media, and it takes absolutely nothing to create an account. So you can block somebody on every goddamn thing, but they will, and they can just create a whole nother account and still watch you and still spread stuffs about you. And then it's also up to those other people if they're going to take somebody's word who may or may not know you, and if they're just going to draw that conclusion based off of someone else's opinion, realistically. That's all rumors are. If you can look at a rumor as just somebody's opinion, then your life will be a lot easier. You won't believe every little thing that's said. You know, I'm a man of facts. You can tell me one thing and then I gotta see the proof. You know, I'm not just gonna take somebody's word for it. Because taking somebody's word for it can land you in a worse situation than what you started. So, again, forgiveness in its simplest state is detachment. And we all know what detachment is because we manifest something and then we detach from it. We don't... Man, I cannot think of words today. We don't sit there and contemplate the thing all day, right? We think about the thing, think about how we would feel if we had the thing, and then we move on. Completely detached, as if it doesn't even matter whether you get it or not. So that's also what we need to do with situations in order to forgive people. You know, we can sit there and we can think about it for a second, for a minute. I wouldn't recommend a whole day. That's just too long. You know, and we can feel those feelings, just like when we're manifesting, we feel how we would feel when we get the thing, right? So you can feel those feelings of how it made you feel during that situation. And then let go. You got to make that conscious choice that I will not feel this way about this situation. That situation, that memory will pop up. You know, there is something that, just like anything that's nostalgic, it makes you remember something, right? So when that memory comes up, it is then your choice. Are you going to re-feel those feelings of resentment, or are you going to remain detached? Yeah. And at that time, I was feeling that way, and it made me feel that way for quite a long time. However, I'm done feeling that way. I'm done. You know, and that's the mentality that you kind of got to have with a lot of things. You know, I mean, when you go to cut someone off, that's the mentality that you have, right? I'm done. And then you cut them off. Now, forgiveness is not letting somebody back in. Again, I just said forgiveness does not mean that we're best of buds again. Forgiveness is literally just you not feeling a certain way. You controlling your feelings. Forgiveness really is for you. Because if you hold on to all these situations and all these feelings, that's all you're going to feel. And then you're not even feeling the present moment. You're feeling just the past. So, I didn't say it was easy, right? But what makes it easier is to have that conscious understanding of why somebody done did what they done did. You know, that would mean that you would have to put, I know for some of us it's extremely hard to understand why someone would do something so negative, you know, because we never would. But it's also, you gotta understand from that person's standpoint. It's not the action itself, it's the reasoning behind it. You know? It's not exactly what they did, it's why they did it. And that is going to help you to forgive a lot quicker, a lot easier, I should say, because there is no quickness. It all happens how it's meant to happen, and everybody deals with things differently, right? I mean, in some people, in order to fully gain that understanding, they would need to sit for, I don't know, a whole day in order to get it, you know, to think about that situation thoroughly. I personally don't recommend spending a whole day. It's draining. It really is. Don't dwell so much on the events of that situation. And try to follow it back to the reasoning. You know? If someone, I don't know, will say, apparently I just like cookies. Someone stole your cookie. Fucking sickos. Now, what is the reasoning behind that? Why would someone steal such a sweet treat? Well, probably because they like sugar. And they wanted it. And they have absolutely no regard for anyone else. You know, some people believe that the world is theirs. You know, everything is put here for me. Back in the day, that's what we all thought, you know. Well, God put all the animals here for us. God put the world here for us. Humans were the last thing to be created. So, and we already know that God didn't necessarily regret making humans. Can you? It's not that he regretted it. It's just that he knew what was gonna happen. Because he made us that way. And, you know, I'm sure any intelligent life form has gone through the same thing. Exploitation over selfishness. It is a hurdle to overcome. Selfishness. It's just about whether we will or not. Whether we are stuck on me, mine, and want, or if we're stuck on you, all, and everybody. You know? I mean, and I just see a lot of people, we say we forgive, but as soon as anything is mentioned, we are right back in those feelings as if it happened yesterday. And that's not forgiveness. You're still holding on to that resentment and that animosity. And then what service are you doing for yourself? Because holding on to that would mean that that's all it takes to get you into a negative mindset. Just mentioning that situation. Excuse me. Just something triggering that memory would put you in a negative mindset. Put you in anxiety, worry. And then what? We're just draining ourselves instead of, you know what? This doesn't affect me anymore. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I don't have any feelings towards it. I've held on to it long enough. And that's really what forgiveness is. It's not telling the other person that they're okay, they're fine, whatever. And as Peter said, well, how many times do I forgive them? 7? And Jesus said, I tell you, you forgive them 77. You forgive them, and forgive them, and forgive them, and forgive them, because if you don't, you're really just destroying yourself, not them. They don't want you to forgive them. They don't. Why do you think they keep doing this shit? To get you into that negative mindset, to make you feel that animosity towards them that they do towards you. They want you to feel that hate that they have for you, so that they can feel better about how they're treating you, how they're seeing you, what they're doing to you. It's literally themselves trying to justify being so negative, for lack of a better word. So, when they say forgiveness is for you, it's not a lie. It is absolutely 100% for you. It's not for them, because they will go off and do whatever they want to do again, just to get someone else into that mindset, because that's what makes them feel better, is to know that they're not the only ones who are negative. But you show them love, and it irritates the hell out of them, because that's not what they wanted. They wanted your reaction. They wanted you to lash out. They want you anxious. Makes them feel better about themselves. So, the question is, are you going to let them? Or are you going to show them just how pointless it is? That's what forgiveness does. Shows them just how pointless all of their animosity is. And so with that, I love you all. Big hearts all around. And I love you.